And here we are again, Thursday, it's showtime. And look who I have with me today. It's fantastic, I'm so excited. It's Vibeke Foss, the Gorgeous Geek. And this is great. I finally dragged her down from Barcelona, which, as you know, is really miles and miles away. And we are here today to talk about, how do you see your cup? Is it half full or is it half empty? Yes, we're on a happiness trip today because there has been so much negative news surrounded by it, ups and downs everywhere, on your news feed, in the TV, on the radio, and on top of that, it's dry January. It's the winter blues. It's the Quitter's Day on the 12th of January, and on top of that, the most depressing day of the year, the 15th of January. Well, it's all gone now, but still, it weighs heavy on us. So we are here to talk about this fantastic subject. It's the road to happiness. And I think that's a great way to start the year, don't you?
Yeah.
And who's on? Anybody joining us yet? No, it's still very early. So I know that those who will be catching the replay, as they call it, will enjoy this just as much. So please stick in your comments and let us know what you think. How do you see your cup? Is it half full? Or is it half empty? That is the topic for tonight. Great. So, Vibeke, I wanted to ask you, what is that you do to make yourself feel happy? Do you get stuck into your work? Do you go out into the nature? What is it that gets your cup full and sparkling?
What makes my cup full? What does make my cup full is to do some art. And then I don't do it, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's on the agenda for 2018 to do lots of art because it makes me feel calm and it's balancing out all the coding I do during the day. But what makes me really happy with my work is to be able to go to a cafe and I sit down, I order my cafe con leche, and I plug into the Wi-Fi and I can sit there in peace and quiet and just be served with coffee and have some people around that I don't need to talk to them. I can just crack on with my codes. Then I'm happy. This is the best part of having your own business too.
See, the Gorgeous Geek. The Gorgeous Geek. Here is a woman who loves doing many of the things that most of us girls really don't like doing, or a little bit afraid to do, or nervous to do, or get panicking, Am I pressed? Have I done the wrong button?
Yeah, exactly. What did I do?
So as you can see, it makes her really happy. So that's a really good thing. But it is really difficult because we are in the baby weeks of the year, and New Year's resolutions are being broken left, right, and centre. I think the Americans have some horrendous statistics about resolutions just fading by the end of January. So we put ourselves under tremendous pressure, and then we hate ourselves for not completing them. I never make lists. I've given up everything anyway.
I do make lists, but I don't beat myself up for. Well, it's nice as like a reference,
Yeah.
Generally.
So what was have you got a special one for this year? Resolution?
Well, I follow a thing that someone started to do, and I see it online these days, to have a word for the year instead of the list of resolutions. Of course, I have the usual, like exercise more and eat more healthy, but it's more a reminder that I do every day. But this year, I have the word ask. Because I need to learn it, and I see a lot of people need to learn it, especially in business, to actually ask for help and support from other people and not try to do everything on their own. This is what I have done the last years, try to do everything on my own. And now I started asking, and of course I progress much quicker, and I see how happy people are to help, so it makes me feel good, and so this works for me. Choose a word for the year.
I think that's a great idea. And asking is a super question, because it's, as you said, people are usually really happy to help you. They really want to. And they feel proud and, recognize that you've given them attention to ask them something. I think that's great.
And you're good at asking. I have been inspired by you, because
we've got Anna on board. Welcome.
Oh, hello, Anna. I've seen you once on
I agree. Asking is very powerful.
Skype, yes.
Yes. Yes. Are you good at asking, Anna? Do you ask lots of questions?
Yes,
I love asking questions. I think it's a great thing, you know, and it's also part of that whole thing about delegating. You know, there are certain things I love doing and I do them that make me happy. But when there's things that are causing me a struggle, then, you know, the best thing to do is to give it to somebody who loves doing that particular thing. Like the things I give you, which you love doing.
This is what you're good at. Tech, you do it.
So, you know, I think many people are quite overwhelmed with all the depressive stuff. Oh, Lucinda's joined us. Hey.
Lucinda.
And, you know, some people suffer from that sad thing called SAD. What's it called now? I can't remember. Seasonal affective disorder. And, you know, there's a lack of light that causes depression. And funnily enough, one of the things that they recommend is for you to go out into the daylight and find hobbies and meet with people and do things that you find fun. So it's all about provoking and invoking happiness, really, to just go out and enjoy yourself. One of the simplest things, you know, to overcome depression is to go out and meet with people, isn't it, really?
Yeah, get out of your head.
Get out of your head, yeah. Are you good at that?
Well, yeah, I can stay at home for days at a time.
Ooh.
I can, but there's that moment when you realize it's not healthy anymore. You start to think weird things, and you meet people.
Geeky.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. I know other people.
Yeah.
But when you go out and talk to people, you're like, oh, like it changes your mindset. Usually to something better. Yeah.
Yeah. What does Anna say? Play hard. It took some practice, but I got there in the end. Play hard. I can imagine you playing hard too. Well, I wanted to share with you a little story that happened to me some years ago when I was traveling, and I was in Munich actually, and I had a friend there who said, meet this man, he can give you some work. What's she saying? How do you guys switch off? We'll get to that. We're going dancing, that's one thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I met with this Mr. Hagen, and he worked in a bank, and I thought, oh, this is not a good start. It's not my kind of work. And he said to me, well, what are you good at? And I said, well, I'm good at cameras, I'm good with pens, and I'm good with people. And he looked like, what? What are you talking about? And he said, what about your typing speed? What's your typing speed like? And I said to him, I can't type. I've never been able to type. And he was horrified. He had this, his whole face went into distortion. And he said to me, you know, a woman who can't type is like a woman with one leg. You know what I did? I started hopping around the room. I'm serious. I just couldn't believe they would say that to me. So I started hopping around the room. And he had to be, you know, it forced him to be amused. It really did, because it was so ridiculous. Then he said to me, never mind, I'll get you a job working in a bar. And I said to him, well, I don't know anything about alcohol. I don't drink. I never did. So, stupid question. I can't work in a bar. I wouldn't know what to do with beer. So he said, that's what? Okay, I'll get you a job as a waitress. And he said, surely you know about food. Because it was all about pinning me down into these womanly jobs. You know, I had to fulfill the womanly jobs. And I just didn't take him seriously. And I think that was really key. Because for me, it was like, what's the worst can happen? He's going to get me a job? Yes. Have we gone into pixels? Are we back?
We're back.
Are we back?
We're back.
What type of man is he? So anyway, the whole point about it was that he said, well, what can I do for you? I can't do anything for you. And I said, yes, you can. You can take me out to lunch. I'm hungry. So he took me out to lunch. And all the time I entertained. I made funny jokes. I made humorous things. I listened to what he was saying. Instead of complaining and moaning and being a pain in the neck, which he probably would have sent me home, you know, and said, go away. But being happy and telling myself, well, what's the worst could happen? I'm going to get a good meal out of this. And you never know what could happen. Something good could happen, so just go for it. And that was the whole point about it, was that by having a positive perspective, by thinking to myself, well, there's only one thing, there's only two things that can happen. He's going to say yes, he's going to say no, and then following that right down to the very end. So in the end, he invited me to stay at his family home, which I was able to do for 6 weeks. By then, it was just enough. But you know, it was a great thing because I had nowhere to stay. I didn't have a job, and I got it just by being positive, personality, happy. You know, looking on the bright side. It got me through lots of situations in life.
I think I got most of my jobs on personality more than skills. Because, like you said, they feel comfortable and you entertain them a bit and see that you're relaxed, and you can always learn.
Yeah.
Most things you can learn.
You can learn. And you learn from your mistakes, don't you? What are we saying here? Don't like roles and being pinned down. Yes.
Freedom, yes.
Yes. What kind of a man, what type of a man is he? I was just a businessman, a banker. You know, just a banker, really. Don't we know some people like that? Skills will come later. Yes, you learn as you go, and if you make mistakes, you learn from them. That's the whole point about it. So, you know, I really think that there are three things, just three really simple things that you can do to start getting on that happy road, that positive vibration, looking at life, looking at your cup as being half full, seeing the positive in life. And I know it is hard. You know, we are surrounded by a lot of negativity and, you know, our frustrations. Our business is not rising as fast as we want. And, you know, where's the money going to come from? How am I going to pay for this and that? But, you know, you've got to have belief. You've got to believe in what you're doing. You really need to have self-belief. And it's almost like that keystone or the capstone that you have in architecture. You know, that wedge-shaped stone that holds arches together and bridges together. And that's like the core, your belief. And I know that, you know, women suffer a bit with that. They don't find it terribly easy to believe in themselves. They waver, you know. Boys find it easier to just get on with the job. And we were just talking about this earlier, about confidence levels and how important it is to feel confident and to believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing, you know, and being consistent and persistent with it as well. But that self-belief is key.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
it takes some time.
Yeah, it takes time. The second one is about starving the fear. You really have to get rid of that fear, because in the end, it's just, most of it is in your imagination. Starve the fear, focus on the good, and, you know, think about your achievements and your successes and what you've done so far. Actually, when you go through that list of things, it's quite stunning, really. Don't you think so? When you think what you've achieved in that last year?
Yeah. Most of the things I'm afraid of, but you do it anyway. When you've done it once, it's not scary next time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what you mean with starve the fear, but just doing these small scary things, and eventually it's a little bit less scary. And you
strangling it. Always look on the bright side of life. We've got songs like that. Fear is a killer. Absolutely. Yeah. And most of it is imagination. You know, fear of the dark. Nothing's there, but you know, we fear it. And I think women are often inundated with lots of propaganda and nonsense about what we should be fearful of. And as you were saying earlier, Lucinda, you know, courage, taking the courage to do things. And, you know, women are actually so brave in life. So the third thing is, you know, to do what you love. Yes. And yeah, I know it sounds easy and it sounds simple, but it's your choice. And it is about fighting off the fear. And, you know, stop complaining and moaning, and stop listening to people who are moaning and complaining. And you know, really finding what it is that you love to do in life. What do you love to do?
Codes. Codes, the yoga.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us about the coding. What is it that you love about it?
It makes sense.
Logic.
People are unpredictable, but codes are not so unpredictable. More challenge. It's kind of relaxing because things go together. It's like with people who like mathematics.
Yes.
Because there's only one right answer, although in coding it's not, but it's it's finding a solution, it's the challenge, it's always thinking, okay, I'm just gonna have to make it this bit a little bit more perfect. If I move it like that, it's gonna look amazing. And it's the combination as well of with the design, that it's the artistic part that is on the front end that people see, and that it looks nice on the back side, which nobody cares about except me and other coders. And we're like, yeah, talking about the clean code makes you feel good.
See the sparkle in her eyes. Look at that excitement when she's talking about coding. For me, it would be like, what? But there's real excitement there when you talk about it.
Oh,
so
pretty.
Right, so that means you design the front of websites and what goes on behind as well.
Yeah, that's what happened when I started, and people start to ask me for help with their website, and I knew I could make it pretty, but I thought, can I also make sure that the website is safe and stable, and all these things most people don't think about. So I did go ahead and learn how to really make sure that if I'm going to make websites for business, that it's going to be there to last for many, many years, and you can build upon it. And this part that isn't that much fun for most people, they don't think about backups and all these things that I keep nagging my clients and my followers about, to make sure that what you make that is so pretty on the outside, it's also sustainable on the inside. Well, like with the body, you can't just have the makeup, you have to eat your veggies too.
So where can people find you, Vibeke? Where are you found?
Where am I?
Where are you?
Since you guys are on Facebook, the best place is to find me in my own Facebook group, which is called Biz Ladies, B-I-Z Ladies. And also, of course, my website, gorgeousgeek.com. I can put it in the comments later, so you can just click the link. Because I also know online people don't want to search things out. You have to give it to them, and I keep telling you that as well. Post the link, Georgia. Post the link.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a fabulous name, isn't it? Gorgeous Geek. I think that's a really great name for a female website designer who loves coding.
Yeah.
Exciting name. So I wanted to share with you on my website this week, I did a blog post about the cup. Is your cup half empty or is it half full? Which you can find on the 3 W's and my name, georgiavargas.com. And the one of the comments that I got this week was from the lovely Joy Lennick. And I know she'll be watching later. She's having her din-dins now. But I'm going to read it to you because it's such a beautiful comment. And she says, putting grief and serious illness respectfully aside, you can be as happy as you want to be. Look forward to that coffee break. Take deep breaths of air and really use all your 5 senses. We all have days when we just go through the motions of living. That's called life too. But with a little more thought, awareness and effort, you can actually feel more grateful and happy for all your blessings. And we have many, especially in the Western world. So use your eyes like a camera, your ears like radar, and open up to all the simple wonders of the world. See, it works. Oh, I just love that. It's so beautiful. Yeah. And it's so simple and it's so true. And that's really what I want to emphasize, that, being happy and seeing your cup as half full is so simple. It's your choice. You can do it. And what are we saying? It takes courage, yes, to turn complaints into requests. Yes, it does take courage. But we've all got that courage. And it is our choice. We can, turn things around and make things work for us if we really want to. Did you... I love that idea of use your eyes as a camera and your ears as a radar. Yeah. When we go out, when you walk in the streets or in the park or by the beach, I'm by the beach, so I just soak it all up. Yeah.
But that's good, you do that naturally. I think you do, because I have to remind myself. I have moments when I wake up, like I go in my head, doing codes in my head. I go around and I live much more in my head, and suddenly you see the world for real.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it's like someone just gave you a piece of drug and you just see everything. But it's just that moment when you finally wake up and I don't know how other people are, but I notice sometimes I forget that. I have to remind myself that when you do it, for me especially smelling, it's like smells good. The trees and you hear the birds and it's really the cliche. The birds are singing.
Yeah, it's nature, isn't it? Yeah, it's the nature.
4 o'clock in the morning, birds that are beautiful.
The early birds, yeah.
The early birds.
One of the things that I do when I wake up and when I go to sleep is to think about and to say all the things that I'm grateful for. And it's an amazing long list. And it really does, that gratitude, as Joy was saying, you know, gratitude is such a simple thing of recognizing all the good things in your life. And it could be that comfortable bed that you slept in. It could be that you've got a warm room.
Warm showers.
Warm showers, yeah. Food in the fridge, you know. All these things that we take for granted. The fact that we've got good hearing, we've got our hair, we've got our feet, we can dance, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, we've got so many gifts. We have so many wonderful things to be grateful for. And I think that's really key, you know, to remember that when you wake up, you start your day on that positive feeling, and you go to sleep on that with that positive feeling. What's Anna saying? I have a gratitude jar in which I put all the good things, and I read it out to someone close at the end of the year. At the end of the year, wow, that must be a big jar.
That's nice. Yeah, I like that.
Ooh. So, what you grateful for today, Anna? Or Lucinda, you're still there. What you grateful for? Anybody going to put down what they're grateful for today? Besides seeing us, of course. Oh no, internet failure.
No, we can be grateful that it's still working.
Yes, we are both so grateful that the internet is. I think it's because we've got workmen opposite.
Give it positive energy.
It is. It's like an urn. I have a gratitude. Oh yeah. Okay, it's like an urn. It's huge. Oh my God. Yeah. So. But if you feel that, you know, getting on top of your energy, especially in this dark month of January, well, down here we have lovely sunshine, blue skies.
So, it's so bright. Yeah. It's amazing.
But, you know, if you're living in a northern city, or you've got a job which doesn't do much outdoor life, or you're just struggling at the moment, then, you know, getting a boost of energy, being in contact with people is so important. And, you know, as I said, believe in yourself, starve the fears, do something that you love. And if you feel that you need a boost of energy and you want to get rid of those obstacles and those resistances because you've got something to write about, you've got something to speak about, you've got a talk or an article that you want to write, or a new blog or a new website you want to design, you know, you want to be heard, you want to be understood, and you want to be believed. And whether that's on stage or page, a lovely website, or it's on video, you want to do some lives, then contact us. You know, we would love, we're here to help you. And if you see we're smiling, we're happy. Unfortunately, the internet connection is half full. Oh no. Yes, and Anna's grateful for being able to hear. Yes, my darling, you are.
That's an important one.
Yeah, so, but we're here, so, you know, pop in your comments, pop in your questions, or if you feel you need that extra boost, you need some advice to pep up your website. I mean, Vibeke is down here at the moment to put in some new vibrations, shall we say, onto my website to give it that 2018 feel.
Definitely.
Yes.
It's going to be rebellious.
Yes. So we're going to be working on that in the next couple of days, in between all the dancing and the chatting, you know. But that's it. You know, we're here to help you to get your message out there, your talk out there, your story out there, so that you can be heard, understood, and believed. And I think that's really the message for this year that's coming, is that we women want to be heard, understood, and believed. What are we saying here? But legs and arms, I have started parkour. Oh, right, free running, and I'm grateful I can move. Yes, yes, indeed. Parkour is amazing. I've seen actually quite a lot of pensioners do that to get their balance and feel strong and confident when they go out on the streets walking and, you know, in slippery, rainy, wet conditions. So, yeah, parkour. Ooh, very good for you, Anna. Nice one. So, well, we're coming to the end of this live. It's going to be a little bit more snappy tonight. And if you're catching the replay, don't forget to stick in your comments and your opinions. We'd love to hear from you, both of us. Our Gorgeous Geek here, who's down for a few days. And yeah, she's going to be redesigning and revamping and putting in all the right words. And
meet the donkeys.
Meet the donkeys, definitely. There's plenty of them down here.
See the donkeys.
So we're going to have some fun because we see our cups as definitely half full. And if your cup isn't half full, get the wine out and start pouring it. Have some fun. Be happy. You know, life is too short. And there's only two things that can happen in life. And you want to go down that list. You know, if you get the yes, it's great. If there's a no, ask for 2 more questions. Keep asking. And keep asking questions, because that will really get you through the difficult times. And life is much better than you really think it is. So look on that positive side. What's she saying? Lovely to meet you. Yes, isn't it great to have somebody at my side?
You too, Anna.
It's wonderful. And thank you for being with us on this live tonight. And we're going to get all spruced up now and get ready to hit the dance floor, make some noise. Frighten everybody away, probably.
Noise?
So have a wonderful evening, everybody. And we will leave our contact details down there so that if you you want to get some updates, you want to get some advice. I think you do it on a Tuesday on your business page.
Oh, that's true. I do Tuesday Tech Tip.
Ooh.
So usually answering questions that may come in on the Wednesday Ask Day.
Oh, well, there you go. So you've got Ask Day, Techie Tips Day.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you need some guidance, some advice, some techie tips, jump onto her fabulous Facebook page and
group.
page group. That thing out there, you know.
Yeah.
Facebook are driving us mad with their new rules, but we're just being happy. Our cups are full up. So have some fun. Be well, ladies. Thank you so much, Anna, for being on. Lucinda and anybody else who's lurking in the background there. So we're going to be signing off now. Have a beautiful evening. And thank you so much for sharing the time with us. And have a fabulous evening. Yeah, isn't that right? Yeah.
Wonderful one. Yes.
Yes.
Have some fun. Do something nice for yourself.
Ciao, everybody. See you in a week. Bye.
Thanks for having me here. Bye.